place to catch up with friends, relax in a friendly atmosphere and enjoy great service and food, then Buckley's can offer a fun evening that the whole family can enjoy. In our bistro you can enjoy a selection from our extensive menu, including family favourites. On those sunny days, our alfresco is the perfect setting to enjoy a meal, catch up with friends, or watch your favourite sport on 2 large plasma TVs. Having a special occasion can be made easy by hiring our newly renovated function rooms. Buckley's, a venue of class that provides all your entertainment and function needs.
During the break, we drew out the lucky winner of this week's dinner for 2 at Jake Whitley's Commodore Hotel. A magnificent meal out there. Our special guest barrel girl, Neva Whitley, drew out the name, and I'm pleased to tell you, folks, that the name is Ben Miller. I'm not going to say Ben Stiller, but Ben Miller. He's from South Geelong, and Ben, if you like to make yourself known to everybody, you will get that dinner for 2 at Jack Whitley's Commodore Hotel. But you are in the draw now to win the 32-inch plasma LCD, HD, whatever you want to call it, big television from our wonderful sponsor, Trevor Ellsworthy's from Ellsworthy Retrovision, just down in Mirrable Street, opposite the Cat's Claws. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Trev. Now, big games on this afternoon, and of course the first one's out at Footrot Flats, Anarchy Footy Club, in all sorts of trouble at the moment. Confirmed this week that Gavin Abib has officially resigned as coach, and that's really going to throw this side into a bit of disarray, the way they're playing at the moment, Dale.
Do we know who's taking over, Dick?
I wish you hadn't asked me that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Do we know?
Don't think it'll make much difference, to tell you the
Saturday
truth.
morning, we'll find out something.
Yeah, look, it's a bit disappointing that that would happen. And as you said, I think he puts a lot of time into his football, and it's a shame that he's had to give it away. But the fact is that most of the responsibilities, from my point of view, comes back to the players, and it's only the players. You can give direction from the coaching point of view, but they've got to go out and act on it. And be disappointed to see him actually come out and beat East Geelong, but I don't give him much chance. When you can afford to play O'Hara in a second side, obviously for whatever reason, form, whatever, he had to go back and sit in those seconds. But they're a good side, East Geelong. They've just started to get a little bit of momentum, and I don't think they'll want to go out to Anarchy and lose that momentum. So for me, it's East Geelong by a fair way.
Yeah, but a sad day out at the Footrot Flats Oval.
Yeah, you'd think so, Dick. Obviously, if the Anarchy players can't get up for the game today, you'd have to wonder when they'll be able to. But I'd have to agree with Dale and say that East Geelong, they're starting to really warm up as a side now, and you think if they got a few players back today that they'd make a mess of Anarchy, to be honest.
Neville?
Oh, well, they've been my old club East. Anarchy are in a bit of turmoil at the moment, and it's a shame because they are a good club, and I'm sure they'll regroup and they'll make a game of it, but I think East Geelong will be too good.
Unbiased comments from the 990-game veteran of the East Geelong Eagles. Unbelievable. One thing about Anarchy for sure, the steak sandwiches will be good, and just a little room.
Hamburgers as well, magnificent.
Oh, they're magnificent out there, and just a little rumour going around. Far be it for me to spread gossip around Geelong, but I think you might find Gavin Abib just might turn up on the coaching panel at the North Geelong Magpies this afternoon, but I didn't hear it from me. Winchelsea Blues at home at the Winchelsea Oval. Magnificent complex out there. Now, that ground is sensational. It's all right, play out there as long as you don't mind people firing shots over your head. They take on the Belpost Hill Panthers, and Belpost Hill probably the only side at the moment that's fairly consistent, Dale.
Yeah, look, I would think that they would be. They're obviously sitting on top of the ladder now, and they're obviously the best side in the competition because they've played all the sides they need to play. I think the only one they haven't played at this stage is Bannockburn. They've beaten East Geelong and all the other sides that are up there competing. So their form's been sensational. They're probably lucky to escape with a win against Inverleigh, but you can't go knocking Inverleigh for them over the last 4 weeks. So I'm just thinking that Winchelsea will need to be on their very, very best, and when they are playing well, they can be very competitive with opposition sides. But they're going to need to make sure that players are getting their ball into the forward line nicely and making sure their forwards have got an opportunity to kick goals. But for me, Belpost still won't want to throw this one away. And with Lewis and Martin back on the side last week, I expect Griggett might just rest for one more week. I still think they're good enough to win out there.
Jake, Winchelsea, not much chance, really?
I don't know. I won't be tipping them to win, but I suppose they've been playing consistent footy this year, and they've only been flogged once, and they just keep pressing, and you have to wonder when the spell's going to break from them and they're going to get their second win of the year. I don't think it'll be this week. As I said, Belpost Hill are probably the premier side in the competition at the moment. But yeah, I'll give Winch a chance of putting up a good fight, but Belpost Hill should be too strong.
Devil, do you concur?
Yes, I do, Dick. If Winchelsea put 4 quarters of footy together, they go all right, but that's their problem at the moment. But Belpost still a class act.
I should just clarify something for our Winchelsea friends about shots being fired. It's actually the firing range or the shooting range right next to the ground. It's just an experience you've just got to go there to believe, folks. It's unbelievable. Okay, now another big game on this afternoon. could have been close to being the match of the round, actually. The Tommy Tigers, after a big shootout with North Geelong last week, they come up against a much improved Corio. It's out of the Godfrey Street complex. Jake, the Tommy Tigers, can they make it 2 on the trot again?
Well, you'd think so. They won last week against North Geelong, and North Geelong threw everything at them in patches of the game, but Thompson were just able to ride those sort of spells out, and they managed to hang on, and then eventually in the second half they were just too strong for North Geelong. And I suppose Corio obviously still missing players like Billy Nichols, and Ricky O'Toole didn't play last week. So if they haven't got those players back, you'd think that Thompson should be able to get the job done at home. And Corio they're that inconsistent. You never know when they're gonna pull a good game out. But they'd want to do it today because they're starting to fall off the pace. So if they don't win today, they're actually in a bit of trouble. But yeah, I think Thompson should go on and win this week as well.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Sorry.
I agree. I think Corio will be putting everything into this win because I think they've come out of that tough run and then they go into your Geelong West Anarchy's games coming up after that. So games they probably should win. But as Jake said, if they lose this one, it puts them back amongst the bottom half, and it's a long way back from there. But they've got the good enough players. As I said, Ricky O'Toole and Jed Potter was another one I think that didn't play last week. They're key players to the Corio side, and without Billy as that extra avenue up in the forward line, it just makes it heavier for Lee Clifford, who's got to play as their second forward, so he gets their second one. They've still got Chad Rivet down forward, who takes their best backman because he's obviously a big bloke and he needs some looking after. And then you float Ferguson and Barry O'Toole through, so they're still got a good combination down there. Look, I suppose only because it's at Thompson, I'll go for Thompson, but only just.
Yeah, Neville, always a great game between these two clubs.
Oh, it is, Dick. And if Corio can get all their players on the ground, then they will be able to push Thompson. But I think because it's at Thompson, I'd have to go for Thompson.
Unbelievable, no worries at all. And of course, out of Victoria Park, the Bannockburn Tigers reeling from their loss to the Werribee Centrals club last week. They take on the Belmont Lions. And, I'll go back to you, Dale. One would think that Bannockburn may have learnt their lesson from last week, and we'll take it right up to the Belmont Lions.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's probably, if they had a concern last week, it was probably that they didn't quite have the pace. There was a couple of blokes that played seconds again last week that would come into the side and give them a bit of extra pace around the ground. And they'd obviously need to use the ball a little bit better. They were pretty confident quarter time, kicking 7 goals to 2, but after that it was mostly all the Werribee side. It was only late in the game that they kicked 2 or 3 to bring them back to a reasonable state. So, look, at home, Bannockburn, they don't like to lose out there, and I think Nayland's back in there. Riccardi, again, you probably would consider just giving him that one extra week with the bye coming up just to make sure he's right after the bye. As I said, if they can get another 6 or 7 games out of him before finals, then he's going to be a great help to them. On the other hand, the Belmont Lions is a bit hot and cold themselves when they get away from the Winter Reserve. I think it is, Dick. That's right.
Resort.
Winter Resort, yes.
Yeah.
Look, they're probably a little bit different side. They'll need to have all players up and firing. They've got to have all their forwards up. And there's, I suppose, none more than Forbes, who's a pretty big player. Tate obviously goes forward, and Harvey Williams is a bloke that, as I said, you'd love to have in anyone's side. So I'm going to go for the home side.
Jake, I know you told me in the strictest of confidence that no Peter Riccardi, no Bannockburn.
I did not say such a thing.
You sure? Didn't you
Yes.
say that? I thought
No.
you might have said something like that.
Might have been yourself.
No, I wouldn't say something like that. Bannockburn Tigers too strong?
You'd think so. Belmont have obviously strung a few good performances together lately, and as Dale was saying, they've got a pretty potent forward line when they're up and about. So you got to give them a chance, I guess. But yeah, Bannockburn should be too strong in this match, you would think.
In a word, guys, we're running out of time. West are playing Inverleigh, Dale.
Yeah, Inverleigh, mate. Their form of the last 4 weeks been sensational.
Sensational, aren't they, Jake?
Yeah, Inverleigh, they're making a great run towards the finals.
Nev,
Inverleigh.
did you get to give us a tip out of Bannockburn and Belmont?
No, I didn't, but I'll go for Bannockburn.
We ignored you, mate, did we? Well, once again, it's hard to believe that half an hour has gone so very, very quickly. Thanks again to our special guest, Neville Whitley. And Neville, all the very best for the rest of the season, and particularly with the finals coming up in a couple of months' time. They're getting closer and
It
closer.
comes around quick, Dick, and I'd like to thank you guys for what you do for the league as well.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. We couldn't do it without the pay. It's unbelievable. Dale, have a great afternoon this afternoon at Osborne Park again.
No, looking forward to it again. Dick, and as I said, if we can get something like we saw last week, it'll be a great game of football.
Jake, you won't be going down to Sale this weekend. You'll actually grace us with your company once again.
Undecided at this point in time, yeah. There's a few things on back home.
Gee, women's got a
Must
great
have a
pool.
girl
in
down
life,
there,
haven't they?
eh?
Yeah, that's right.
You'd have to something down there. You worry about that.
Women have got a great pool.
Okay, well, we'll be back again next week doing it all again. And thanks for your company once again. Stay tuned for Daryl Pittman and the boys with the local footy show. We'll be back doing this all again next week. Bye for now and enjoy your footy.
The place to catch up with friends, relax in a friendly atmosphere and enjoy great service and food. Then Buckley's can offer a fun evening that the whole family can enjoy. In our bistro you can enjoy a selection from our extensive menu, including family favourites. On those sunny days our alfresco is the perfect setting to enjoy a meal, catch up with friends, or watch your favourite sport on 2 large plasma TVs. Having a special occasion can be made easy by hiring our newly renovated function rooms. Buckley's, a venue of class that provides all your entertainment and function needs.